Hey everyone, welcome to Collector Chatter. Happy Halloween. This is going to be a special episode. I'm your host, Miguel, as always, or AKA Sam, and with my co host here, Charlie, AKA Zerg.
Zerg.
So, in this episode, this is episode 48, we're going to talk about the latest Funko news, like always. Not too much on the news front, but then we're going to dig deep into this new NFT drop because it is the horror one and it is a Halloween episode. So, we're super excited.
And as always, if you're listening on the podcast platforms, thank you so much for your support. And if you're listening on our YouTube platforms, thank you for your support there as well. And if you're not, come on over there. And when you get there, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like these videos, comment, and hit that notification bell so you know when new videos are coming out. With that being said, happy Halloween and let's chat.
All right, everyone, welcome back. If you guys are watching on YouTube, you guys can see we obviously have our costumes. So I, of course, am Sam from one of my favorite Halloween movies, Trick or Treat, and Charlie, of course, is Zerg from
Yes, I'm
Toy
Zerg.
Story.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
Zerg from
Lightyear.
Lightyear. Yes.
Lightyear, yeah, the
Little
Lightyear, new
different.
Lightyear movie,
Yeah, I only got the
which is
mask on. I wasn't as fancy as the Migs. I went full fledged. I should have
yeah, I
done
got this
that, but
whole little freaking kid. This thing is ridiculous. I'm like sweating. This mask
it's
will be off in a
amazing.
second. Don't worry.
Yes.
Yeah, if you guys are listening though, definitely would be a great episode for you guys, but definitely make sure you check over on YouTube like we always, so you guys can see us because we look pretty ridiculous, but it's pretty awesome. But yeah, we'll start off the episode kind of just, talking about some of the news. All right, this is gonna come off though because I'm like literally
Yeah, let's take them
sweating at the
off.
moment.
Ooh, let's see.
All right. Ooh. All right. We're back. So happy Halloween. Like we said
Yes,
before,
happy
of course,
Halloween, everyone.
episodes coming out on Halloween. Halloween. I love this holiday. It's one of my favorites. And I love this holiday even more now because my daughter is now becoming a huge Halloween fan as well. Like she
I agree.
loves costumes and trick-or-treating and stuff. It's great. But let's get into this episode. So we will have some like Halloween type stuff later on, and we're gonna obviously talk about the new NFTs and kind of go more into the redeemables and what we think about them and that kind of stuff. But we'll go out, we'll start off with some news right off the bat. We had a few things, nothing like super crazy. I did find this pretty interesting. We got another wave of the Wakanda pops.
Yes.
And I know we talked about kind of like the initial wave. We talked about like the leaked one. Then we talked about like like anything that was coming out like little by little with this movie. But I wanted to ask you, like, what do you think? Like, what do you think about the fact that like we have so much pops coming out before the movie? And we talked about this before, where they usually would wait or we'll get a big wave right when the movie comes out. And it seems like we're getting a lot of stuff like beforehand, and maybe they're not so secretive on a lot of things that we initially thought they were going to do with this movie, whereas they're just kind of putting it all out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised we already have like I guess wave two before the movie
Mm-hmm.
came out. And I know this is a joke that we talk about all the time. We still don't have wave two of No Way Home, which is like insane. And that movie is now will almost have been out for a year. This wave though is pretty, it's like a small wave. I almost feel like maybe they weren't sure they were going to show the new Black Panther in a trailer. And then once they did, they're like, okay, we can put this pop out. Because it's really kind of, it seems like it's just Shuri stuff. Then we got the ride,
Yeah.
the pop ride with Namor on it, which I think that's awesome. And then it looks like there's some type of, warriors that I think will be on, fighting with Namor. And then besides that, it's like a bunch of keychains and way too
Yeah.
many versions of Shuri. Like, I mean, I like her as a character, but just I don't need like, I was surprised it came out with a glitter version of her. That's a box lunch exclusive. I don't like, just we already had, and like, I think this pop is pretty similar to one that's already out, but she just has sunglasses on.
Yeah.
I can go on. Let's just like way too many.
Yeah. They definitely have been overdoing it. And I mean, just because there's like so many of them. I'm not gonna lie, like the first original Black Panther movie in line that came out was pretty big. Like they did
Yeah.
have a lot, and they did go kind of heavy on Black Panther and different versions of him and T'Challa and stuff. But I guess, it's pretty obvious she's like the main thing now. So like they're obviously like really pushing her character and all different versions of her. The Namor ones are pretty cool. I like the one with him with like the big like headpiece
Yeah,
thing. Like that thing looks pretty sick. But yeah, just more added on. I just thought it was interesting. I was like, wow, okay, we're getting more. And like again, the movie's coming out very soon,
soon.
but like the
It's
wave is
interesting.
pretty, yeah, pretty big. But that was like one that kind of like stuck out to me. Anything
Yeah.
that you saw right away?
One that stuck out to me, and I've talked about this line in the past, is the Power of the Galaxy, which is like the all-female
Yeah.
Star Wars line that's Amazon exclusives. They announced a new one. It's Rey when she's kind of like using the Force, like floating. I think this, whether you like Rey or not, I think this pop is awesome, and it's definitely one that I saw immediately. I'm like, I have to add this to my collection, so I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah. As soon as I saw that one, I was like, oh, Charlie's gonna love this because I know you like
Yeah,
all of them already, anyways.
yeah,
And I was like, this is pretty sweet. And her like floating up like that. Like I always like when they make the pops kind of levitating in a way, whatever, with the little stand, but it's definitely a cool looking pop.
yeah. And they definitely
That's what
don't make a Star Wars pop like that, so
hmm
it's a unique new. The one thing that I love so much about this line is basically they're all new molds. Like none of them have
hmm
been repeated, which for Star Wars is can be hard to do. So I think that's why this for me has really stood out as like a really good Star Wars line.
Yeah, they've been super unique to all the ones in this
Yeah.
line and detailed and everything. So they definitely look really good. Um, we also got this is a pretty cool one. I think we might have seen this at one point or rumored it, I feel like, because I remember seeing that it was going to come out, but now we're actually getting it. I thought it actually was already out, but it's the Assassin's Creed
Yeah.
pop game cover,
Which I
which
thought
is a
was
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, I loved Assassin's Creed. I remember when Assassin's Creed first came out, I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then like they came out a few different versions, and
Yeah.
I haven't necessarily played all of them. But it's a cool one in that line. I don't have any of the game covers. I know early on they had like Sonic and they had a few different ones.
I have some of them.
Um, yeah, they're cool. I love that style line. We talk about them all the time when it comes to the covers, the comic cover ones, the albums, whatever it is. All very similar. But it's cool that we're getting, some more out there. It's a pretty legendary, Halo's a big name, like they made already. Sonic's a big one. This is a big one. So it kind of makes sense that they're doing this type of one. I'm surprised I haven't made this yet, but I would see maybe a Call of Duty one, pretty
I
big
agree.
crowd would go after that, I think.
What's funny,
I
one
mean,
thing
there's
that
plenty of games they could make in that Call of Duty line alone. So,
yes, one thing that's interesting about this one, it's the first non-GameStop exclusive. It's just a common that you can get anywhere,
oh, okay.
which I found interesting, which I'm wondering if that's what they're going to do going forward.
Yeah.
Because they've
I mean, being
all
at GameStop made sense. I
it
always
did.
thought that was like perfect for
Exactly.
them, right?
I agree.
It was a game, but it'd be cool to kind of get it out, I guess, more retailers and stuff and just kind of get more people on it.
Yeah.
Um, but it's a pretty cool one.
Another thing that they announced, which this is a line now that has a decent amount in it, is the Aladdin VHS cover. I think it looks
Yeah.
awesome. The genie on it holding the lamp. I mean, I've been collecting these. I would say this is probably Aladdin's probably one of my favorite Disney movies of all time,
Yeah.
and this one just is perfect. They've done a really good job with these.
Yeah. Definitely a big Aladdin fan as well. I totally agree. I think all the VHS ones so far that kind of have been announced or have come out have been awesome. I mean, The Lion King, Toy Story, like they're all epic movies. So this is great to be in that category. But I guess it's kind of hard to tell because there's such big characters. But like, are you surprised that it's not Aladdin? That's the actual pop that
It's
they went
funny.
with.
I did think that actually, but then it's like when you look at the cover, the genie is like the biggest part of it, and I think that's probably why they went with it. And
Yeah.
because on the cover, Aladdin's on like the magic carpet, I
Yeah.
feel like they could get a little more detail going forward, and like maybe we could have had the magic carpet with Aladdin and Jasmine
Yeah.
on it, like in
Yeah.
which I kind of wish they went that route a little bit, and like that was covering it, and then you saw the genie. But I feel
Yeah.
like that's probably just a little too much for Funko, and I don't
The
blame
the
them.
cover has both of them on the carpet, right? Jasmine and Aladdin.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So that's probably why they didn't do that because they never usually try to do like
No,
two
no, they
big
don't.
pops, mostly just one. But like if it was just Aladdin, let's say on the carpet, they totally could have pulled it off because the way these things are designed. If any of you don't know, I know Charlie has horror story on receiving one of these type of pops. Um, these pops basically are in a case, like an acrylic case, and there's a picture in the back, like as the background of whatever it is. The actual pops is actually like screwed to the back wall, so that's how they keep them in place, essentially, right? So if they don't necessarily have to be at the bottom, like they could have had it screwed
Yeah,
towards the top, it would have been floating,
it would
like
look
it
awesome.
would have been perfect as that. And that's like, well, I guess why I like kind of question like it being the genie, but I mean, it does make sense. I mean, and it is cool to see a genie pop. I mean, I guess we've probably seen more Aladdin pops than genie
Yeah,
pops, so I guess
and
it's kind of a cool thing.
the genie arguably is probably the most popular character in the movie, so
Yeah,
that as well. Um, Regardless, it's really cool. But one thing I know we've gone back and forth with this, especially on the podcast, like, is this its own line or is it in line with all the other smaller movie covers, like the Godfather one, for example? And someone pointed out this has the same number as another one of them, one of the movie covers in the
yeah,
line. It
it
may
definitely
have
is his own line. I
it,
think
it is
it
exactly, which I
has
know
to
some
be because
people
it's
weren't
because
sure
under
about.
pop it says VHS, right? Like it actually says pop
Yeah.
VHS versus movie cover. I think is what they
Yeah.
want to say.
Which makes me feel though we're gonna be getting way more of the movie ones that aren't the movie posters because some of the numbers are pretty high that have come out so far. And that's why people were like, oh, they're mixing these Disneys with the other movies, but they're clearly not anymore.
Yeah. Well, are all the VHS Disney?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it's confused. Like they've all
Well, the
been
ones that
Disney.
say VHS.
I don't know if like the Godfather one says VHS on it, for example.
I feel like that was the one we got confused with one
We
time.
did.
Remember?
And Funko's never come out and said it, but like I'm saying, some people, I don't want to, everyone, if you know the exact number, like throw it in the comments. But I do think people were like, okay, the Aladdin's the same number as Godfather. So either Funko's messing up with their numbers once again, or now we officially know this is another line and they're just like jumping with numbers, which I know you've said in the past, they've done that with like the albums.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, based off of when maybe they technically created them and then when they
Yeah.
actually come out, it's not always in line with what you would think, like in an order. But it is interesting to see like if they are technically separate lines and like what differentiates them and like because granted, if it's an older movie, I guess, and it used to be you can get it in a VHS, I guess that's why it would be that. But not to like completely go off topic, but off of something that you
Yeah.
did mention, and I haven't thought about it in a while, but the poster line, like the actual big versions, I feel like that's kind of slowed down a bit. They only really
There's
come out with
one
what, like one only, the Jurassic Park
only
one?
in the Jurassic Park.
And that's it, right? We saw like rumors of maybe there would be like another
Yeah.
one or whatever. But yeah, it's just a Jurassic Park one. Yeah, because I'm trying to think because I know the Halloween one exists, but I think
Yep.
that one's a movie one, not a VHS one. So I think that's in like that
Okay.
line.
So then that must be what
So
the Godfather's, because off the top of my head, I know there's the Godfather one, which that like is actually like I have that in my possession.
oh,
I
you do?
don't have
Okay.
the Halloween one yet, even though I did
Yeah,
pre-order
no,
it.
I don't either. I
They
think I'm
came out
waiting
with
still for that.
a Gremlins, a Christmas
Yep.
Vacation, and like that's all that I like, and maybe a Killer Clowns one, which I have no interest in.
Oh yeah, yeah, no.
But I think that's really all they've had so far. So the
And
numbers are
then just
obviously
all the
high.
Disney ones.
Yeah, there's been a ton of Disney ones.
Yeah. But that's definitely like I right away I saw that too. I was like, this is pretty sweet. Like Aladdin's obviously great. So definitely a cool one. We also had a pretty interesting one. So this movie obviously just recently came out, Black Adam, I guess getting some mixed reviews in the sense of like it looks like the critics really ripped it, but fans seem to kind of actually be liking it,
Liking it. It's got a
which I
good,
thought was
yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
But they released like a two-pack type thing where you get the Blu-ray and a pop, which I think is totally
common
a
pop.
cool thing to do. Yeah, it's just a regular com pop and you get it with the movie. So it's like kind of a cool way. Like we've talked about this before with not that Funko needs to do this, but it's a great way to kind of get people who don't know about Funkos kind of into Funkos in a way because
I
maybe they
agree.
like just love the movie or they want to buy the movie and they're like, oh, this is cool. It comes with a figure or it comes with a toy, however they want to like see it. But as a collector, it's a cool piece as well. Cause I was a big big movie collector. Like I
Me
know
too.
when we talked about like early on when we started collecting and things when we were first starting this podcast, we were talking about just to so you guys could understand us as collectors. I used to collect movies like crazy, DVDs and Blu-rays. Like I still actually have a lot of them, but I got rid of all the boxes of them because that used to take up so much space. So I put them in like these like
Yep.
encyclopedia looking like folder things, which are pretty
Hmm.
cool. I should get rid of those because there's ask me the last time I opened one of those and grabbed it or
Exactly.
even played it.
I know.
But my point is that I was also into like how I never started. I feel like I ended when this really got big. But to me, I love the way steel books look. I
Yep.
never actually got into those because it was kind of when I was like, I got to stop collecting movies and pay money for no freaking reason. But like that was a cool collector's item in the way that it looked. And if you ever got like a bigger case of a movie that had trilogy or whatever it may be, it was always cool. And this kind of reminds me of that, just getting like a collector piece box. It kind of looks kind of like the t-shirt bundles, though. It's funny, like
I
the
agree.
window of the pop, right, and everything. So,
It's funny. I wish
but
they
it's
made it a
interesting.
special pop because, like, I'll be honest, I probably would have bought it. But the fact that it's just
Yeah,
like a common pop, I'm like, okay, definitely
just a regular one.
not getting it.
Yeah,
But
nothing exclusive to us, but like I said, to a person who's just getting the movie, it's probably like, oh, cool, I
yeah,
get the figure, out of it as well. But that's
keep
cool.
keep going with comic books. One thing that really surprised me was that Black Panther with the waterfall that was
Yeah,
exclusive
yeah.
to the Funko shop in Hollywood. Like that was just that's so random to me. I don't know if they kind of align it because they just actually had like the red carpet premiere of the movie. But I think this pop is sweet, and I mean I'll probably never really get it. I don't like it enough to buy it like on the secondary market, but
Hmm.
I think it's a pretty cool pop, and it's like iconic part from the movie. Like
Yeah,
Black
it
Panther is one of
looked
my
awesome.
favorite movies. So
Yeah, it looked awesome. I thought it was a pretty cool looking one. It was interesting, like the whole Hollywood thing too. I like that sticker too when they,
me too.
speaking of funny about stickers, but um, that was super cool. We also got a 1,000 piece Jabberwockies pop that's coming out. So I know they've been releasing a few different versions of those. So it's kind of cool to see like an exclusive, and it's pretty low piece count for like a release
Yeah.
pop. So if you're a fan of that, the Jabberwockies are pretty cool. So I saw that one. I thought it was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Another pop, which is funny, it's been like people have had this pop in hand for a very long time now, but not really in the States, is the Fennec Shan Star Wars Valentine's Day pop. Um, when the new ones came out last year, this one, like, images were floating around, and some people had like, when is this coming out? Like, no one knew about it. It's now just been like announced it's going to be a Hot Topic exclusive, and it's like coming out soon, which to me is
Really?
just so random. I weirdly like I've said this in the
Weren't
past,
those
like
all really delayed? Even the other ones that did come out, technically, didn't they come out late
they
anyways?
did. They came out late, yeah, which is funny because like my wife actually bought them for me
Mm.
for Valentine's Day, and it was just like now it's like I feel like I need to get this one to complete the collection, but it's just like it's so random. Like what happened to this Funko Pop? Like it's weird that there's ones that exist with like the special edition sticker.
Hmm.
Um, but like why didn't we ever get it here? It's
Yeah,
just
like
like
overseas got it, and we
yeah,
just never got it.
it's just so random. When I saw that pop up, I'm just like, wow, okay.
That's that is so weird. There's so many like I feel like there's so many weird things that happen with like releases and things not releasing, and like even like this next one I was gonna bring up kind of fell into that where I was like, this is kind of a weird way of how they dropped this, and it was a pop that I know we talked about, and I was like, this is super sick, I want it, and it was the Miguel pop. So the
Oh yeah,
new box lunch exclusive Miguel Pop, which was him, with the guitar and like a little pedals and
it's
stuff going
awesome.
around him, and it's glow in the dark. And it came out on the Funko Shop. It hasn't even released on Box Lunch yet.
Yeah, it's
It's
so
a
weird.
Box Lunch exclusive. It hasn't come out on Box Lunch. It actually, I was reading, November 4th is when stores are going to be like putting that out and actually having it. And it was already released on the Funko Shop, and it's sold out, right? Didn't it sell
It's
out
sold
like
out. Like
just afterwards when you tried to look and it was like
it's
gone?
sold
And
out
I was
like in
shocked.
an hour.
So it's
Like
so
or it was really
crazy,
quick.
like because we talked about items like on Funko Shop how they don't necessarily always sell, but then again, when they're shared exclusives, they usually do sell because they don't have as much. I'm
Yep,
assuming that's probably what happened again. Like whatever
100%.
their allotment wasn't the total number because Box Lunch is also going to be getting them. So that's probably why it sold faster than you think, but it's still surprising. And it is weird that Funko came out with it first. Because like I don't mind that they have that little exclusive section, or they come out with
Yeah,
stuff that also because it's Funko, it's still a Funko Pop,
yep,
but like drop it at the actual place first, and then if no one sells, they have extra, then throw it on the Funko shop. Like it was just weird. I was lucky enough to get it. Obviously, I really wanted it, so I did grab it. And like I threw in a couple sodas that were out at that time too, so that'll be coming in pretty soon. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I definitely like that pop, but I
yeah,
just thought it was weird how
yeah.
that
It
like
was
released.
super weird when that happened. Like, I wasn't even like, I was like, oh wait, it's a Funko shop. It's not Box Lunch. I mean, I think I like that. I don't, like you said, I don't mind that they put these up on the Funko website, but like, I find it still a little weird. Then, like, part of me then says, why don't we just get a sticker like the international ones and slap those on, and then you can. Some allotments will go to a retail store, and some
So it doesn't
allotments
have
are
an
in Funko.
actual
Yeah, it's
name. Yeah, it
weird. Like,
just
I'm
means it's
buying
exclusive.
only at Target Funko Pop on Funko.com. Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. It kind of defeats the purpose of like what they're trying to say. And then it does kind of show like these are not, and we know this and we've talked about it all the time. Like, they're not as like limited or exclusive as like they want you to think they are. They're just
Yeah.
slapping that retail sticker on there, and it's only being sold at Target per se.
Yeah. It is weird. It really doesn't make. I've always said it. Like when it comes to stickers, to me, it's not exclusive. It just, I guess, by definition, you could say it's only because it's at a store type of exclusive. But
Yeah.
to me, exclusive would really mean like rare and like a low piece count, like
Which they
that kind of
used
thing.
to be. Like, I feel like when I first really started collecting and Funko started to become a little more of a household name, and that's when the Targets of the world and the Walmart, they were all getting exclusives. I do feel like they'd get them, they'd be hard to get, and when they sold out, you were never getting them again. That's like
Yeah.
clearly not the case anymore, especially when it comes to Hot Topic or Box Lunch. I
I
don't even
remember
feel
too.
bad if I miss a drop from there.
Yeah. No. I remember like a rumor, I feel like, where they had said that Target was only going to sell the exclusive ones and not like common regular pops. Did you ever hear that?
No, I
I
didn't.
don't know if it ever happened, but I mean, obviously, I don't think it happened because they sell a
Yeah.
bunch of different ones. But yeah, for a little while, I'd heard they were only going to carry like whatever was exclusive. So like it literally said Target on it, and that was it. So it's kind of interesting. I think Target's whole like we've had so many issues with Target, so I feel like their whole like relationship or whatever it is with Funko is like such an odd one, anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was definitely a cool pop that like, you know, I'm happy to see that I was able to get it because I didn't think it was gonna sell that fast. I actually was one of those ones that I put in the cart and I was looking around and took my time, added some sodas, and I was able to actually cash out. And then I saw people like saying, like, oh my god, it's sold so fast, it was gone. And I was like, damn, really? Like I didn't realize that it was
I
like
know.
gonna do that.
So
So that
anyway,
was funny.
speaking of Target, they came out with their Funko Friday Justice League
Yep.
line. We knew it was the Green Lantern, but now it came out, and I think this pop is really awesome. I'm liking this line, but one thing that a lot of people are saying, and I'm curious what your opinion is if you've seen this. People think this looks really similar to the DC Series 1 NFT redeemable.
The Green Lantern one?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it does.
and
It
like
does.
people are like really pissed off about it. It looks similar, but not enough for me to say like I mean, first off, it's a different character. It's not the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
Green Lantern, which
So yeah, different version of it.
like,
Yeah.
and I mean,
Because the redeemable
yeah,
Hal
no,
Hal
it's
Jordan.
not. It's
No,
not.
no, no. This one.
This one is Hal Jordan. Yeah,
This one's Hal Jordan. Yeah.
yeah. Um, I just find it interesting. Like, a lot of people are kind of like upset about it. And they're like, now Funko is like ruining the specialty of the redeemables. I'm like,
Dude, the
they're
NFC community just seems a little
is
ridiculous sometimes,
insane.
huh? And I
Yeah,
know we've talked about it before, and we love
of
NFTs, and
course,
we're,
love
I
them,
guess,
love them.
technically part of that community, but it's like some of them are just a little too, I don't know. That's just weird.
Yeah,
But I did find it funny that they're still doing like the whole little silhouette thing. This one looks pretty cool. I mean, I think it's
yep,
awesome. I like the set, I like the colors and stuff. I said it about the Star Wars ones. It's
yep.
very similar. So um But it's interesting because now they've announced the next one, and it's clearly
The
Flash.
Flash. Yeah.
But the funny thing is that they're actually saying it's a Flash, even though it's a silhouette. Like it's
Oh,
like the Flash pop is coming out.
I didn't even
Did you
notice
read
that.
it? Like I saw the
No.
post. It literally was like the Flash pop releases or whatever, and it's like because it's so obvious, I guess. But like, why make it a silhouette? Like it's like it
I
used to be
agree.
like the
It's at
Flash, you
this
know.
point, yeah, there's no point.
But it is true, like you said, it's the Justice League, and it's obviously going to be like the core. Like people, I wonder how many they're going to do, or how like big they'll make it as a Justice League, or they're going to
Yeah.
keep it to like really, really the core. Um, but it's a cool one.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to go after any of them, but they're definitely cool looking ones. I did want to talk about this. So this was kind of Halloween related as well. So I guess this kind of veers towards when we talk a little bit more about Halloween stuff. But the Hocus Pocus sodas,
Yes,
they
finally.
dropped. I know we saw that they were going to be coming out. Didn't know when. Made sense for it to be around Halloween, but we also know how Funko works. And basically, they don't always do things on the right time or day or
No.
whatever it may be. They have done it a few times recently. We're kind of surprising us, but with this one, great time. Now, the only thing that sucks is like, even though it came out, it doesn't mean you're going to get it for Halloween because it literally just dropped. Now,
Yeah. We
granted, I
won't.
guess people on the
Yeah.
West Coast do because they
Yeah.
get stuff the next day. Um, but I obviously wanted these. I was a big fan of them. Don't love the chases. I know when we spoke about it with the whole translucent like color thing, that was a little weird. Um, but I'm excited to get these. I grabbed two of each. Like always, try to see if I could pull them. I was surprised though that they were sticking around for a while, and then I know when we were talking about it, you
Yeah.
mentioned and reminded me that the piece counts on these is ridiculous. It's 20 or 25K. What's it?
25K. I'm
25K.
shocked. Like,
So
why?
25K used to exist, and so does a lot. Back in the day, they would drop something like that. But I feel like for the last at least year, I want to say they really have gotten rid of like a number of like a 25K
Yeah.
number. And I also find it interesting because this is almost like essentially like a set. Like you're gonna obviously want all of them. And I'm surprised that they would do that many of like a thing like this. And it's also a Funko Shop exclusive. So it's not just a random common. I mean, it's still technically a common, I guess, at this point when you think about it, right? It just has a damn sticker on it because 25K is a lot for
A
a
lot.
soda.
Yeah.
So like so if you didn't get, I mean, are they still up? Probably are with that many.
I
I
think they're
haven't
still up.
looked.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I haven't looked. So but I wonder how many people did go after them. I definitely wanted them. I know you grabbed them,
I
right?
get no, I love
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
I definitely wanted them. I kind of wish we may have mentioned this in an older episode when they first talked about these. Like this would have been like one of the cooler packs and maybe
Yep.
added a few more characters, which is
Yep.
funny. That kind of like I thought they were gonna milk that. I mean,
They
we haven't,
stopped.
yeah, they
We
stopped.
got two, right? Or
Yeah,
technically, no.
which is we only got two. We got the
Yeah, because wasn't there
turtles and
like
we got
rumors
Scooby
and we were
Doo.
supposed to get the Blacklight
Yeah, the
Five Nights at Freddy's, whatever, but it
yeah,
never really came
never
about,
came
right?
out. No, which like there's no way they didn't sell. I mean, those sold out. Those like sold out immediately.
Yeah,
It's
it's
so
weird.
interesting, and this would have been like a great one to do that for.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This I mean, we've talked about it. I mean, we could do an episode
Yeah,
just on that because there's so many different ones that were like that would be perfect for it,
yeah,
or they should do this. But yeah, like I think we did mention it. Like this would have been a perfect, you get the three of them, and then you put like Billy Butcherson, and you put like two other characters. Like you totally could have done that, and it would have been awesome. You make the cooler could have looked super cool, Halloween
could have
themed,
been a
and very.
cauldron.
It would have
Like,
been awesome. Like
yeah,
definitely cool. I love the first two. It's funny because they literally are all in the cooler still, the
yeah,
cans and everything. I haven't even taken them out. Well, I did obviously when I opened them, but they've been stuck in there and that's it. Because I'm still waiting for like more space to figure out how to display that stuff. But um, yeah, it's weird that they haven't come out with another one. I haven't thought about that in a while, and I'm like,
yeah,
they were such and they were big. They sold, they
yeah.
resold was a big
They
deal,
were
and
like
like
a hot
everyone really
Funko
wanted them.
item that they haven't like
Yeah.
really had in a long time. So it was like,
And it totally made sense. I
yeah,
prefer that over a damn 3 liter. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I own 3 liters, but I would rather have another cooler pack than
yeah,
them
me too.
drop another because they've dropped a lot already of 3 liters.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, super cool. Hocus Pocus, obviously classic Halloween cult movie for sure. Um, but before we get into like the NFT stuff or anything like that, was there anything else
the one thing I
that
wanted to bring up was what your thoughts were that they restocked for a hot second the box of fun
Oh
of
yeah.
San Diego Comic-Con.
I didn't even actually see the restock. I saw like afterwards, they were like, "Oh,
Me
this restock,"
too.
and I'm like, "What the hell?"
I don't think that, I mean, it's weird. I go back and forth. I get they want to sell them. They probably found inventory, but I don't think that's cool. I kind of wish they would have just like kept them and like gave them away as like social media, like giveaways or something.
Yeah,
Like there's, I
maybe
mean,
they had a lot of them.
yeah, maybe.
Who
I mean,
knows?
I just know to this day, like there's people who really wanted them, like when the drop
Yeah,
really happened, and then now all of a sudden you find enough to put it up, and like
it
some people were like, I bought like 10 of them, and I'm like, what the heck?
of the restock.
Of the restock. Like,
How
I
the
mean,
hell?
about
That
time
should have
I
been
saw
limited
it,
too.
it
Like,
was
why would you
gone
do
like
that?
immediately.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe they're being sarcastic when they were saying it because people are
yeah,
weird in comments on Instagram.
yeah.
But
It's true. But what one thing is that so what's odd about this isn't that it was just like something that came out that was cool and was one time and somehow they're like have more. It's that these boxes, well, they were supposed to be, at least based off of the pops, are like numbered.
yeah,
So like there's literally only supposed to be 10,000 of this or 8,000 of this or whatever it is. So like where like when they first released it, someone had to see that like they didn't the number
have
that they
them
were supposed
all.
to put out, they didn't put them out or they didn't have them. Like it's so
Yeah,
weird
it's
how
so
that
weird.
works. Like there's no way to just read, like you said, they just found these or whatever. Like they didn't just make more, I'm sure. But
No,
it's just an odd thing to do with like a numbered piece to me. Because then it just like makes you like it's like they're lying to you when they do release some of these things and they sell out, because then if they come out with more, you're like, well, they're just adding more. Is there truly that many? Because like we will never know.
no, we'll
Even
never
with
know.
sodas, we say it a lot with sodas. We will never know that if this says 10,000 piece, that there's literally only 10,000 of these. They could make 50,000 and we literally would be like, oh, it's a 10,000 piece. And you would never know.
I know you never know because it's even funny. Like on our last week's episode, our boy Jeremy from New and Old Funko Pop Unboxings, he commented like, what do you think like with the NFTs, like when are they actually making these?
Yeah, yeah.
Because for all of you who don't know, like the stickers are always going to be wrong when it tells you how many there are because
Yep.
no one's redeeming them all. Um, and I know that's why a lot of people are saying they're so delayed because they wait to make them. Like, I don't think that's what's happening personally. I think these are made. That's why they're slapping those stickers on. I just think they haven't like the production is just behind, but
Mm-hmm.
some like they've been very adamant. The people over at Drop, the Funko destroys them, but then they've gotten a
Yeah,
lot of
no.
bad, like, people on Discord are like, well, why does someone have the Scooby Doo one already that hasn't even been able to be redeemed? Like, people have had pops, like, now those have been redeemed, but I'm just saying, like,
Really?
but people don't have those in their hands yet. So, like, but some people already have them on their shelves and they're like leaking pictures of them. So, like, the reason I bring this up, it's like, who even knows if they're telling and I know they don't mean they're not doing this on purpose, but like you may think you have this pop that only X amount exists, but it may not be true.
Yeah. That's what I mean. There's a lot of reasons for someone to question those things.
Yeah.
Like we said it, like obviously just other people leaking them or other people getting their hands on them. And then also just the pure fact of like never really knowing the actual number because it's like, the only thing I think that could fix that, and I don't know, fix it, but like help that, and they do it with trading cards, and they do it with a lot of these other number collector things. It's like literally numbering them.
Yeah.
One of 2,000, two of 2,000, not just limited to 2,000.
I
Like, do
agree.
you think they would ever do that?
No, because that means they need to make every sticker is its own sticker.
Sure.
It's
And
that's why they don't do
God
it.
forbid they pay for extra stickers, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Which yeah. It's just so funny
But like
because
you could do that, but you could also do that as an imprint in the box.
you could.
A stamp, you could stamp the
It
inside of
just
the
it
box
hurts
or
the
something.
assembly line of it
It
happening.
definitely does. It adds another layer,
But
100%.
you could do it for like excuse me. I
But like
know.
for the NFTs, like you already know that's like very specific. It's always going to be limited. It's only 20,000 total, whatever the number is, or however many it is, and they take time to do these. And like Jeremy was saying, we totally agree. I'm on the side of that. they 100% should then renumber them, and they should be a sticker, even if they don't do the number thing like I'm talking about. The sticker should then read what the actual limit is,
No, they
because
totally should.
they know that these other ones don't exist.
Not
So why
only
are you lying?
should they do that, they should also make them numbered, like you're saying, with your mint number of the actual number that you have in the NFT.
Oh
I
yeah,
act
that too.
in the community, they make stickers like that. I've actually bought them for all the pops that I've gotten so far. So it legitimately says my mint number and it says how many actually were redeemed. And like the people who made the stickers, like they're cool, but like they've made one for that drop. So like the Star Trek one, it's Star Trek themed. For the Nickelodeon one, it'll be Nickelodeon themed. They're super, super cool. I'll have to send it to you because I feel like they're super cheap. You should get one for.
Yeah,
And like I don't put like I've noticed some people put on the box, which I find insane. I'm not doing that. I put it on my like armor on the outside of it so it doesn't actually go on the Funko Pop, and it's cool. And then like
nice.
I know how many there are. Like it's just cool to know. And I
Yeah,
feel like Funko could go the extra mile for the NFT ones. For the money that
yeah,
people are spending on them, the highly collectability of them, and it'll just make everyone happier. And the other big thing people are complaining about is like these should be sent in hard stacks. You're gonna
yeah,
send artist series in a hard stack, but not an NFT one that some people are spending hundreds and
yeah.
hundreds of dollars on. I feel like Funko, I do feel like that could be coming. I also feel like maybe that's why some of them are delayed. Like there's too many. Like my Bob Ross ones came a little damaged. They're
Yeah.
fine, but like I'm not. I wasn't thrilled
But I've
about it
seen some
because
pretty bad ones though.
yeah, because they
Like
sent
some
them in
people
those
getting.
terrible. I'm sorry. I know you think they're gotten a little better. I hate those sorters that they do. I rather them just be individual, one-on-one. Like if I order 3 Funko Pops from Funko.com, I wish they could just come all individually wrapped, not in that like three thing. That's just a recipe for
That's what I was
disaster.
just gonna say. That's what hurts you, especially when it comes to like these NFTs, because now it's like, all right, so for instance, the Nickelodeon line, right? Like
Yep.
I only got one legendary redeemable in that line, right?
Yep.
So I redeemed it because at that point that was already one that was already passed. So I'm gonna get that, and it's gonna probably more than likely come in like one box, which is probably fine.
Yep.
But then in another set, if I have 3 or 4 redeemables and I redeem them, that now means that they're gonna send me multiple ones, and more than likely they're gonna put 3 in one of those goddamn big ones
They
because it's
are.
probably saving them, and then one. So now, like the more you get, you're actually hurting yourself in the chance that those are gonna come damaged because they're gonna ship them in those. I think the
Tech
3 1 is terrible. There's a 2 1 that
the
they've
two
made
ones
that I've
fine.
been getting that's been good because it's a thicker one. It like folds over in the top and then it has the little things on the side. And then the
Yeah.
1 1 is the one they usually put in and you open up the bottom and slip them
Yeah.
out.
I'm
But
cool
that
with
three
that. The
one is
three
so
is the
dumb.
worst. And technically you can redeem everything individually. It's just to me, it's
Oh,
annoying.
okay.
And some people were like, yeah, most people in the
Like you
community,
just do them
that's
separate times. You go
yeah,
through with one and then you go back in and do it again.
which is what most
It's kind of
people in the community I feel like do. But someone raised a great point, and I think someone lost one of theirs. Or like that gives you an extra chance for the postal service, UPS, whoever shipping to lose it.
sure, yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's like I'd rather just get in the one package, which I know you could lose that too, but it's just
of
kind of
course.
like yeah.
That's true. That'd be
But
weird.
yeah,
But it's funny we were talking about NFTs
yeah,
and
let's do it.
redeemables and all that kind of stuff. So we'll get into that. So the latest drops, I know we talked about last time, what happened with everything with the NFT the Halloween series 2. Amazing. I know in the last episode we didn't want to spoil anything, but I mean, at
Now
this
we
point,
can.
if you didn't watch it, whatever. But but obviously, I pulled technically 4 redeemables. One was a duplicate legendary, 2 other legendaries, and then I pulled the freaking grail, which I
I
thought was
know.
like
Amazing.
insane that I was able to pull that. The duplicate legendary I got was a Krampus one, which I was able to do a trade with someone who actually, has watched and supported me, my channel, our channel for a long time. Candyman, Rip, RIP, is his name, and he had the Phantom one, and they're both the ones that are kind of around the same value
Yep.
anyways, and I was totally cool with it. I was like, dude, I'm totally down for a trade. He trades with me, so that now gives me 4 different redeemables, so I'm very, very excited because that line I think is amazing. and I got the Reaper one just recently passed the Grail one in
It did
value.
finally happen. Okay.
Yeah, which is insane.
The
So I do
Reaper
have
one is
the Reaper
so
one is like the
awesome.
most wanted one. I freaking love it. The only one I didn't get was one you pulled, which is the
The
space
Space
zombie one, which
Zombie
is sick.
is
And then
awesome.
you also got
And
Krampus
I
as
got the
well, right?
Krampus too. Yeah, which I think
Yeah.
now at this point that's like the least popular one, but I like that one. So
Yeah, no, I think it's
I think
cool,
it's
and it
pretty
looks.
cool.
They all look pretty awesome. I literally loved all the Redeemers. I thought they looked amazing. But this next line is not just Halloween, it's not just Freddy. It's actually horror related. It's WB specific horror movies. And they when we first announced it, we kind of like saw a little glimpse and what maybe would be a redeemable. We didn't know too much details, but now we obviously the drop is going to be. If you guys are listening to this, today it's coming out, on Halloween, which normally it's Tuesdays. This is the first time it's going to be on a Monday, well, during
Yeah.
Halloween. So it's interesting. But it makes sense. Drop it on the
Yeah, it's
day
cool.
of Halloween, right? WB horror. So we're getting again 5 certain legendaries. Again, four are going to be four legendaries, one Grail,
Yep.
and then the normal royalty. So I kind of want just to go into them and just talk about what you're thinking of, the redeemables, the line in general. I have a feeling this isn't going to be a really big line as far as like
No.
different characters or cards and stuff. Like I think it's a little bit more limited than we probably wanted because it's not your classic horrors. Not like you're not going to see Michael Myers, you're going to see Freddy Krueger, you're not going to see any of those. It's very specific to WB type movies, so like ones that are on HBO Max maybe and things like that. So
Yeah.
um right off the bat, we could start off with the nun. So this is a nun with painting, and I started looking back at these again when we got the nice clear picture of the what each one's going to look, and I think this might be like one of my favorites
I
besides the royalty, which is freaking amazing. I think this one's one of my favorites, and the reason why is because it's nun holding painting, like with a painting, and it's actually a character in the back of nun holding
it's
a
awesome.
picture of the nun, which is from the movie. So this one's from Conjuring 2. Um, if you guys are horror fans out there, I want you to back me up on this and let's start talking shit to Charlie because he's never seen The Conjuring,
Nope.
which I was so shocked and surprised. The Conjuring universe alone has its own kind of thing. Obviously, there's Conjuring 2. I believe there's 3 actually Conjuring movies. We got like 3 Annabelle movies. We got the Nun movie, which I think is the second one coming out. So it's a big universe. But this one's super cool. It's from Conjuring 2 specifically. But the
It,
Nun, yeah. So
it's
that's the
just
first one.
funny from not seeing the movie, which now I will be watching. Um, I think this is the best one as well. It's super unique. I've gone and say this all the time, like the NFT Funko Pops. I feel like this is where the top creatives at Funko are working right now. When they
Yeah.
come out with these pops, they're all, for the most part, super creative, new molds. Like I feel like we would never have gotten this in like a normal Funko Pop.
Yeah.
And
We
I,
have the Nun. The Nun exists as like I think maybe 2 different versions.
but not with
But
this like
this is
painting.
cool
It's
with the
just so cool.
painting. And the NFT is gonna look awesome because it's gonna definitely be her like running forward or doing something. So
Yeah,
like that's super cool. But yeah, I agree. Definitely one of the cooler ones of the pack. I have a feeling this will probably be one of the more pricier ones that's not like the Grail, basically,
I
of the
agree.
bunch, if I had to
I, I, I
be
agree.
honest.
I feel like the one that's gonna be chilling. Obviously, I don't know much about it yet, but I will, like I said, watch the movie. The Crooked
Mhm.
Man. The pop looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I just have this feeling that's gonna be one that's like chilling on the bottom of like the list of like
Like the
people not.
price point instead of
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. It's from the same movie. So that's what I think is a little weird about the sign. So like again, they were limited, but like we got 2 from the Conjuring 2. And there's obviously multiple Conjurings. It's not just this one movie. But these both are from that movie. So it's pretty sweet. I like the mold. I think it's cool. Definitely fits into like a horror, creepy vibe. But I agree with you. I don't think it'll be as popular, so which means it's probably not going to have the higher value. So if you're gonna want to try to get this on the secondary market, it might be one of the ones that's a little bit lesser,
yeah.
like price wise. But I'm still kind of wondering how the price points and how like popular and how this is gonna sell. Because I'm still a little like up in the air on like if everyone's gonna go after it as much as like the Halloween style ones from
Yeah,
last time or not.
there's a lot of packs, so I feel like this line is going to sit along the range of DC Series 2 and Game of Thrones, I
Hmm.
think. I think this will be the most popular out of those three, but there's going to be a lot of packs, like knocking on wood right now, but I do think we'll be okay with getting these.
Yeah.
Um,
I find it odd though, like you just brought that up, that in this world that we live in with these redeemables and the hype, and they're exclusive and they're pretty much usually all numbered the same, right? The
yep,
legendaries are usually around the same amount of like how many you
give or
can get.
take. Yeah,
Um, that we have certain lines and packs that we have redeemables that are literally $20, and then we have other ones that are $280
yep,
in a completely different pack, and they're both a legendary, like it's so crazy. Like the DC series too, like they're all like $30, like all the damn redeemables. And the Game of Thrones, like they're all pretty cheap. Like it's just interesting that like they didn't all sit at a higher than $100, which you would have thought. Like in the beginning, you're like, oh, these are grails are
you
redeemable,
would
like
have,
grails
and
in the
it's
sense of like,
annoying. It's just because people, like we've talked about this in the past, like were upset those they had more packs, so people weren't buying them as much. They didn't sell out as quick, so just like the demand wasn't there because obviously the demand for these is based off of what people are buying for them on the secondary market.
yep,
Um, and then
that's the
like it's
value.
funny,
That's
we
what it
had talked
gets.
about too, like the DC, like I liked that they were like really like no name characters.
Yeah,
People
yeah,
didn't like that. I don't get the Game of Thrones thing. Like I don't understand why those
yeah.
aren't
I'm
more popular.
surprised.
It makes no sense to
Surprised.
me. But like I think these are gonna be, you know, they'll be worth the most out of the big three that had like tons and tons of packs.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So
I,
so the third one. So I know you said the Crooked Man.
yeah,
Now we're switching it up with a different movie. Now we do have from The Exorcist. This is Father Karras, so one of the priests from The Exorcist. Um, I'm surprised it's not like Reagan herself and like the actual like we saw that's a picture, and you said this that the pictures usually are redeemable. That's one of the pictures on the
yeah,
pack, and it's not any of these redeemables. Now it's from that movie, so it's The Exorcist, but like we obviously do have that pop. It exists. It's an OG
exactly.
pop, and that's probably why. So I'm glad that they're not just redoing it, but they could have done a pop of her. They could have done. I'm sure we're gonna see an NFT of her. We're gonna see an NFT. I'm sure in the bed or something, doing something
Yeah,
kind of crazy, which will
they could have
probably be
had a
pretty
pop of her
cool.
just looking normal.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Like as weird as
So
that
there's
sounds, like it didn't need to be.
definitely options that they could have gone with. I don't mind it though. Like it's cool to have a secondary character, and like I don't think
I
this
like this
exists in
pop.
pop form. I don't think it exists
I don't
already.
think it does
So
either.
so that does make it kind of cool because it's going to be unique, like to get this one, especially if you have just any other regular ones. Like this will look cool with it because it's still part of that, the movie. So definitely a cooler one. That'd be up there though in terms of like just uniqueness. Like it's not like the most detailed, crazy looking pop. It's just just him, normal priest. He's got like scratches, I think, on his face.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Then another one, you get a Pennywise, with his spider legs, which one thing that's pretty cool about this pop, it's going to be the first NFT like pop that comes in a box like this. Whether that means anything, it's just I
It's
think
like
it's kind of
it's
cool.
a damn Grogu pop, Grogu
Yeah,
NFT right
yep,
here.
yep. I mean, I'm indifferent about this one. If I pull it, I'm gonna be out
I
of
hate
all
it.
the you hate it.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate this mold, like in general. Like this exists already. Like they have this kind of pop. I'm not a big fan of that. Like part. I don't know. I don't know. Like it's a little too much to me. Like the mouth wide open without teeth, and like obviously it's from the movie, and then the spiders. Like I rather just like a straight up Pennywise,
So
maybe
there's
looking
a mouth
creepy.
open one already, but not a spider one, right?
So there's a mouth open one, yeah, with the body.
Yep.
Um, and I think I don't. Do they not make one that's a spider one? Because I
I don't
feel like
I don't think they do
I have to look that up because I don't know if they do.
because I don't
But
think they would have made that.
I don't like the way that it like looks. I think it's cool that it's a sideways box. Like you said, it is different. Um, but I
Out
don't
of
know.
all,
I
it's
don't know.
just funny
I
because
don't
out of
love
all
it.
these movies, obviously, when you take out that I haven't seen the Conjuring series,
Yeah.
which then the next one we're talking about, Annabelle, which is part of that universe. Like I've obviously
Yeah.
seen The Exorcist, I've seen all the It movies. Um, it probably I actually really love that movie, but I wish the problem is there's so many pops from the remake
Yeah.
that who knows what they really
There
could have.
is so many. So there is a pop with spider legs.
There is.
It's the one though, where his arms are like
Oh
this
yeah, I have that
the spider
actually.
legs, and yeah, but it's called spider legs. Like it says Pennywise with spider legs. So it is different. Obviously, it's not like all of the
He's not like fully like the
yeah,
spider. It's
yeah. I think it's just like to me, it's kind of weird because I like horror, I like blood, I like all that stuff. But like, to me, I like Pennywise when he's been done where he's not too like when he's not in his like
yeah,
extra, not
they're
normal, basically,
trying to
right?
make yeah. Yep, I
Like
get
they
you.
have the one with he has like a spear going through his head and his eyes are all messed up. Like I don't love that one. There's one where his teeth are all crazy and obviously the spider legs, right? Like I don't love that one, but I love like the ones of him just bloody or him just like looking or him with the balloon. Like just personally, I like those molds better. But so that's why I don't think I love it. But I mean, if I pull it, whatever, it's gonna freaking any
Exactly.
redeemable is amazing. So it's still cool to pull it.
Yeah, but
Um,
I agree with you on that. I mean I
but
get why you're not in love with it.
yeah, like I feel like they could have done a different one, maybe, but it's still cool. Um, and then I know you kind of hinted towards it. So the Grail, of course, those are all the legendary ones. The Grail is the Malthus with Annabelle. This is from Annabelle Creation, which I know you said it before. This is in the Conjuring universe, so there's obviously the Conjuring movies. There's multiple Annabelles. I think there's like three. There's the regular Annabelle, Annabelle Creation, and then Annabelle something else. I can't remember the name of it. I haven't watched all of the Annabelles. I didn't watch Creation, so I don't really know this character that much. That's why even when I saw this was one of the ones that we kind
Yep.
of
We
showed that was
showed.
like hinted to this line. So I didn't know much about him, but like it's obviously like a big like demonic looking. It
It
almost looks like
looks
the Green
super
Goblin.
cool.
Remember the not Green Goblin,
Yes.
the Cheddar Goblin,
It looks
the
like that
one.
could be the same mold for Mandy.
Remember that? Yeah. So like
Yes.
that's what it reminded me of when I first saw it, but it's holding an Annabelle doll, which is kind of cool. Like
This pop looks
it's definitely
cool.
cool looking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it, but it's definitely cool looking. And I like Annabelle enough. Like I have Annabelle pops um for it to like be like a cool pop because she's also like a little doll version of it. So definitely interesting. It's kind of a little weird that it's the Grail, to be honest. Like I feel like with like what they're going with and the theme, like they could have went with something else, but I mean, I've seen mixed reviews. People like hating these legendaries, and then some people kind of like are like, "Oh my god, these are amazing." So it's weird. It's very divided out there. Um, but the royalty, man,
That's where it's
that
at.
is,
Which I'm afraid,
and
like,
of course, that's the one that I'm never going to get because I feel like I'm never getting royalties with the with the
I-
amount of packs that you have to get.
yeah. And I think I saw a rumor like there's a lot of epics supposedly in this one, but it doesn't
Oh
mean they're going to
yes,
be like
we did
expensive
see that,
epics. But excuse me,
but it
this
just makes
one
it harder to get probably.
I need to find a way to get this. Like
This thing is amazing.
I've been trying to get royalties, but sometimes like I fall off like the bandwagon. Like the last one that they just recently done finished was like My Little Pony. I was just like, you know what? I don't really like My Little Pony. Like I got them because I thought obviously love the NFTs and my wife was like, oh, let's get these, but like I didn't finish it because like I needed a decent amount. So I was like, I don't
Yeah,
need to finish this. This one, like I even look at like I'm kind of upset like the DC series too. I didn't get barely enough packs to get the Riddler. Probably not
yeah.
gonna get it, but like this one, like I want this one really bad.
Yeah, no, this hands down of all the redeemables, I think is my favorite one.
Yeah,
Like
it's my favorite
that has
one.
come out
Oh, that's
like
come
of
out.
any packs recently. Like, yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm a pretty big Pennywise like fan in general, but like Freddy Funko, amazing. The Georgie character is just so sweet. And
Yeah,
I've already talked about this where like I love the Freddy Funko as Hannibal, as plain as it is, but because it's got like blood and it's like so like we literally have Georgie with one arm bloody and it's goddamn Freddy Funko version. Like it's so cool. Like I just like the yellow hood jacket range. I mean, like he's right here. You can see him. Like that look is so iconic. Like my daughter has a yellow rain jacket. We bought it for her, like at Target. It's hilarious. And the first thing I said to Sin is like, dude, we should just have her be Georgie. Like just be, and it was a regular, like it's an actual rain jacket. It's not the
It's
one for the
amazing.
movie. And I'm like, that's the first thing I think of. I'm like, Georgie. Um, yeah, the royalty, Freddie Funko as Georgie. Fire.
Do they make a Georgie pop like this?
With the arm? I
Yeah.
think they do. I only have the regular Georgie one,
Yeah, I can see
which
it.
is
Yep.
him with the boat.
Yep.
It's from obviously that the new movie, the original like wave that came out with all the other ones. I want to say maybe it's a is there a chase that's I think yes, they do make so the
They
exact
do.
same pop exists. Yes.
Okay.
It's a chase. That's what it is. It's a chase version of that. So
That's an amazing
uh
chase.
this version so he's standing, he's looks kind of dead because that's like what it looks like with the
Yep.
Freddy. It's like when they see him when he's in like when he's like down in the sewers and stuff.
Sewer. Yep.
Um, his arm is cut off, but his arm is on the ground, all in a pile of blood, like the
In
actual
the
pop.
Oh, okay. Yep, I remember
Yeah.
this pop now. That's
So
cool.
I don't know if the Freddy is doing that. Is he?
I bet you it
There's
is. I'm
because
like
see,
looking at this picture
so it's
right now.
probably the exact same mold because it
Yep.
looks literally like this mold, which I'm totally fine with because with Freddy's, if you redo a mold and you make it Freddy, I'm totally cool with it because it's still different because it's still Freddy.
Yep.
Um, I did want to like just because I thought about this and I wanted to talk about this on the podcast. I wanted to see if you hold on one second if you remember me saying it in my video. Um, but I want to pull up the NFTs real quick. One second. The ones we were just talking about. Where the heck did it go? The redeemable of oh my god, now I lost where they had all those pictures. I know Diss Trackers posted them all. Um that Freddy Funko, right? Does he have a crown on?
He does.
He over the Georgie?
Yeah,
Like
he
over
does.
the or well, not over the but like oh yeah, okay. So he doesn't have his hood up. Okay.
No.
So it's actually different than the other one. So it is a different mold. Because in the other one he has his hood on. Oh, and you can see the arm on the side of the box.
That's what I was thinking. You can,
Yeah,
right?
the arm with the blood is on the bottom. Okay. So that's even more sick. 2,694 of those. So, oh yeah, because it's the royalty.
Yep.
Um, so this is what I was gonna say. That looks awesome. I opened up Trey's box,
Yep.
uh,
The
which
hide.
was
Dr.
one of my
Jekyll.
recent videos. Yeah, there's no crown on the which one was it? Is it the Dr. Jekyll one? No, Dr. Jekyll one had it. It's one
No,
of
the
the
miss the
pops.
miss no.
It's one with a hood on.
Oh, I thought you were talking about your soda. I remember you saying he had the top hat on.
Oh, that's what it is. That's what it is. The
Yeah.
soda.
Yep.
Is that the only Freddy that has no crown?
This Halloween soda ones don't. Like the
But
Wolfman
every other one
doesn't.
does, right?
The Wolf Yeah, because well, none of the Halloween ones do. Even like the Mummy
No.
one doesn't that I got from the NFTs. Oh wait, you know what?
You know, it does. That one does.
It does.
I think it's like to the side. I'm trying to think if you guys know, because basically what I'm saying is like the Dr. Jekyll soda, Freddy, maybe because it's a soda, but soda Freddy, he's got a big top hat on. And we obviously know that the crown is like a big thing with all Freddy Funkos. And I just found it kind of interesting because I was like, is there other Freddy Funko Pops where he has like a hat or something on that
You're
doesn't
right.
have?
It does. You're right. The Mummy does. That may be
It's
the
really
only
odd that it
one.
doesn't have it to me. Like I just thought it was weird because like even in this case, he's supposed to have the hood on if they're redoing that mold, and they did it without it so that he could still have the crown. So it's interesting.
I feel like it could be because like that you needed for that character. Like the
Yeah,
Dr.
the top.
Jekyll,
But
like
is there
maybe
any
like
other characters that have like big hats or like
no,
like
well
that? I
you
can't think
may
of it off the top of my
no,
head.
you may be
I
right,
feel like they
like
always have crowns.
because the Mr. Hyde one had it, and then I do actually think I said the Wolfman one doesn't, but I think it does. I
That's
think
weird. I
that's
mean,
the
no, if
only
you
one.
guys
Yeah.
know of any that don't, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. Um, but yeah, that's it for the NFTs. We're both really excited for these. I think they're pretty cool. Redeemables for sure. If you guys are going to be going after them, best of luck. Hopefully, you guys do pull some cool stuff. Definitely make sure, like we always say, to make sure you're watching because if we do get packs and we open them up, we always drop those videos on the page and on the channel. Um, that's definitely something I'm very excited for. But we wanted just to close it up real quick with a little bit of Halloween stuff, just to kind of talk about Halloween pops, horror pops, sodas, whatever it is. Just maybe some things that maybe I know we were talking about like that we want them to
Yeah.
make or would be. And obviously, I'm a big horror fan. I've always said that's one of my bigger collections, bigger passions of stuff that I do collect and Halloween style and stuff like that. So every time I think of this myself, it's always like kind of hard, but like you can start off, Charlie, if there's anything off the top of your head that you're kind of like,
Yeah.
wishing they would make or
I mean, I know we've said this before, but I really want them to start making more of the horror icons and sodas.
yeah.
Like, I don't understand how we don't have Freddy. I don't understand how we don't have Jason. I know there's been rumors for like a ghost face. And I really want them to come out with the like original Universal like characters. Like we only have the Frankenstein. I wish when they came out with Dracula, the soda, it wasn't from I can't even
No,
think
it
of
was
it.
a Bram
Yeah, yeah.
Stoker's.
Like I really wish that they came out with that. And even like
Like,
it's so funny, like Scream, for example. I'm surprised they don't make any other pops from that movie. Like any
mm.
character, like nothing. Like you
And they came out with the new one and they never redid
never
it, like
did
you were
it. Like
saying.
I think it's so weird. Um, so those would probably be some of my, big ones I wish
So
they
so
had
with
stuff.
Scream, I don't know the studio, but it makes me wonder if like they don't have the rights to do those anymore because
It's
the
it's it's made
Scream,
by Paramount, which we get tons of pops from them.
yeah. Because it's interesting that the original one, obviously the Ghostface one is a classic, it's a big, grail. And I always said, like when we talked about this, the new movie came out, I didn't want them to redo a new one. I
Yep.
wanted that to be the only one. And like I'm glad that they did. And like they could obviously do some other ones, but the characters aren't like that known in the sense of like where if you made a pop, it wouldn't just look like a random guy or random girl. So like Penny as well. So like
Yeah.
Ghostface, the actual character, obviously is iconic, and of like what it looks like. So like I'm kind of cool with it, but it is surprising that they haven't. I'm okay that they haven't, but I want them to make more Ghostface stuff. Like give us a damn soda. Like
Yeah.
I've been wanting a Ghostface soda as the number one like want for a soda. Like I would totally agree with you that like that's a perfect either one of these. Like you mentioned them both, but either one of these would have been a perfect Halloween drop soda cooler. And one
Yeah.
of them would have been the Universal Monsters, like you said. Get the classics out of there, Dracula, Cthulhu Black Lagoon, Mummy, like get those in soda form, which would be amazing already. You already kind of seen Freddy's like these scary
Yeah.
characters, like that they can do them, and then make it into a damn cooler because you could definitely get six. The cooler could look amazing, but other than that, just like classic horror villains that we were talking about before. Michael Myers, like there's still no Michael Myers soda. Freddy, Jason, like both of them, obviously. Even I know they've been redoing some of the characters in Blacklight, which is kind of interesting. But got we got Michael Myers, we got Chucky, but we didn't get like Freddy, we didn't get Ghostface. So there
Yeah.
still is a lot of those that aren't getting redone. So it is interesting. It's a weird thing because it's like you can drop these at any point, but now that we're in Halloween, you would think this is when they really, really pushed a lot of these things out. And I feel like
They don't.
this Halloween season, they kind of were a little light on like big bam exclusive cool versus what like we saw in like a Star Wars celebration time. We saw a lot of cool crazy like do that for Halloween. Like it's a big holiday where you can totally take advantage of it. And even when they do the whole fright like when they announce the stuff that's going to be coming out like and they
Yep.
announce it as like fright, what is it? I don't even know the name, the way they do it as. as Fright Night or whatever they do. It's not the box that we're
Oh, the
talking about. I'm
Funko
talking about
Ween.
like, yeah, Funkoween. Like when they do Funkoween, and a lot of times they're not even all Halloween related. Some are, some are. It's I always thought that was so odd. Like, no, make it all like literally Halloween horror style
Should only be
characters,
because they're
and it should only
missing
be that.
like the other thing that drives me insane. Like I'm a huge Nightmare Before Christmas fan, and I know there's a ton of Funko product for that, but like the soda line, like they kind of like just stopped making characters, and then they obviously went the black light, but like we only have Barrel as one of the trick-or-treaters. We don't
Yeah,
have like that makes no sense to me.
Lock, Stock.
Yeah,
Yeah, and there's a ton of characters in that movie, and it's funny because like rewatching it recently, like with my daughter and stuff, I see like so many, and they all exist in pop form. Like they've made a ton of them. But yeah, I agree with the sodas. The sodas in general, we can say it about multiple lines. The way they drop things and how they're all over the place is weird because they never finish. Like still to this day, it's hilarious. They haven't finished all the Kiss members in the
I know.
sodas. They literally dropped two guys.
But it's
So like
even
it's so weird.
one thing that's so funny about Before Christmas though. So like my son is a huge fan, and I got him the like the advent calendar for Halloween of
Yeah, yeah.
Nightmare Before Christmas Blacklight, which there was only 13 doors, and
Mhm.
two of them are repeats of Jack and Sally. And my 3-year-old goes, Daddy, why did I get two Jacks and two Sallys? There's so many other
Like the
characters
exact
they
same
could have
one.
made. They're different, but
Oh,
like
but just another Jack, like
another
two
Jack,
versions of
another
Jack.
Sally, and
Yeah.
even he is like, there's so many other characters they could have made. When a 3-year-old is saying that, come on, Funko. Like, there's,
Uh,
I just
that's
thought it was
funny.
so funny that like, why there's so and like that is such a cult following. You
Yeah.
could make the most random character from Halloween Town, and people will want that. They want that more than a million Jacks.
Yeah, 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 I agree.
So
Especially
that's
with the
why
sodas. They made so many Jacks and
I'm
just like
happy they're
they're all up
making
here. Like I have
so
so many
many.
damn Jacks.
I'm at least happy they're making the Santa version of Jack. I know it's another Jack, but in the soda that they announced
Yeah.
that this year for
And then a
Christmas. But like,
blacklight window, which is ridiculous.
yeah, no,
The
yeah,
worst chase option of that and ever.
no, the
But
chase should have been Santa, like the real Santa Claus.
well, yeah, it'd be too much for them. But even if not, maybe get flocked or something, like at least
Yeah,
like cooler than a blacklight. Come on. I mean,
yeah,
no
they've
sense.
gone so hardcore with the blacklight.
Um But yeah, I mean, how that's I agree with you. The sodas is definitely the biggest thing for me, and I think horror sodas look like. I mean,
They look
I literally
cool.
have an entire row here of just horror sodas, and I think they always look amazing, and they've gotten so much better because I always used to talk about how like the blood on some of the older ones, the chase, like the Leatherface one, the chase, it's like kind of like splattered. It looks weird. And then the blood on like the ash that came out is like
It's
so
cool.
much cooler, more detail. So like they're definitely getting really good at them, but like make more. Like there's so many more.
Yeah,
Like I have a
like
ton,
they
so many more
just made
characters
like
they
the
can do.
American Psycho one, which like
Yep, I actually still have that in a box. I haven't opened it
cool,
yet.
but that gets soda form before like yeah, so
Like the
many of these
big
other
classic, yeah,
yeah.
big classic. I like names, yeah, of course. Like, but we always complain,
Yeah,
and we
we're
have
not
no idea how
complaining.
these
We're
licensing
just
goes.
we don't.
Like, we don't know the details. We're just telling you what we want and what we wish there was. And
So we
if someone
want
is
these.
listening,
We
maybe
want these. We want these. We want these.
maybe these will come out. The words YouTube algorithm or something will spit into Brian's ear or something. Who knows? Um,
I have
but
a quick
go
quick
ahead.
thing though I want to bring up too, just and we will end it soon. For the new Halloween movies, are you surprised they haven't made any product from that from
Yeah, yeah, like
Funko?
even like Lori, like an
Yeah.
older version of Lori.
Like I wonder if they don't
Uh,
like I wonder if they don't do well. Now that I'm thinking of it, is where
well,
it's
I
like,
mean, the thing is like they only make Michael Myers. They don't make any of the like even in the old movies.
yeah, you're
There's
right.
no Laurie Strode at all. I don't even know if oh my God, what's her face? I don't even know if she exists in any of her movie characters.
She doesn't.
I don't know. I'm
Why am I
so drawing a
drawing
blank on her name
me
right now.
too?
It's
Which is bad.
terrible because
I
she's
know.
like
Oh man,
legend.
that's bad. Legendary.
Um, but I don't think any of her movie characters that I can think of at least like exist. So maybe she doesn't want to be
Want
like
it.
in whatever.
Which could be very true.
Because I know they do that with certain actors and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we got Michael Myers, the OG ones, and then we got like the glow version. Then we started getting a few more of a couple different newer Halloween movies,
Jamie
and
Lee
different like
Curtis. I wasn't gonna
Well,
let
yeah,
the
Jamie Lee Curtis.
podcast end without saying
Um, and then the Michael Myers with the house I thought was amazing, and now we're getting the movie cover one. So we are getting a lot of those, but yeah, it's interesting that we're not getting like necessarily the new like remade ones, or even like we didn't get it. Not that it was like huge popular. We didn't get any of the Rob Zombie style ones either,
no.
for his movies. Um, but the newer ones definitely like the mask is different. It's
It's
a lot
different.
more like burned and looking and stuff. So like, and we don't have any pops like that. They're all more of just a plain white, one. Um, but yeah, it is definitely interesting. But there's still tons of stuff that they can continue to do, and movies that they're still like kind of missing and stuff. But
The horror line in
I'm
general, which
excited for it.
we know we talked about when we had our horror episode, but like the potential there is, out of the roof because I never really thought of it because I don't necessarily collect a lot of horror pops, but like a lot of these classic movies, they make the main character and like that's
Hmm.
it. Where like we just said the Marvel, I know, they're
It's
not
the
in the
complete
same league.
opposite of
Complete
that.
opposite. Like there's a good balance. So hopefully that's something
Yeah,
they start doing in the future.
yeah. So I guess we'll see. I think they did that. They've been doing that a little bit more with like brand new franchises movies. Like they did it with Us. They did it with Jordan Peele's other movie, Get Out. They did it with the
They didn't make no
Candyman.
pops, did they?
They came out with no, they didn't. They
No.
didn't no pops. They came out with the Candyman, the remake Candyman.
Yeah, you're right.
So but with those brand new ones, they'll come out with like a few in the line.
It's a nice
But
small
the
line,
old
like three
classics, they kind of
tops.
just like you said, just keep it like nope, whoever the villain is essentially, and that's pretty much it. Um, but yeah, guess we'll see. Um, but let us know because we want to make sure that you guys can also tell us as well, like some of your favorite Halloween pops, some of your favorite horror pops. What are your thoughts? Funny like debate happened in one of my group chats with some friends. This has been a debate all the time, but like the whole Nightmare Before Christmas isn't more of a Halloween movie, it's more of a Christmas movie. And the funny thing was, is someone as well, mutual friend Phil actually was saying he was watching it recently with his son, and he mentioned something which I kind of agree because now that I've been watching a little more because my daughter's kind of getting into it. She never was, but now she's into it. Is the more you watch it, the more you realize it's actually like a Christmas movie more than it
Yep.
is a Halloween movie. And I've always been like, nah, it's a Halloween movie, maybe because I like Halloween more type of thing. But I definitely think it's more of a Christmas movie than it's a Halloween
It's
movie.
just
If I had to
funny
like veer towards one side.
because not Tim Burton, but one of the writers in the movie, he actually just came out and said, like, he's never said what this is. Is it a Christmas
Yeah.
or Halloween movie? And he actually said, I don't care what anyone says, it is both. It's like a perfect
Yeah.
movie that you can watch starting from, leading up to
Just
Halloween
the whole
all
time.
the way to like New Year's Eve, which I thought was funny. That even
It
like
is true.
I
It
don't know
is
why
true.
they haven't made other movies with the doors, but that's a whole conversation for another podcast. Like if Jack went into like the Easter door or the St. Patrick,
Even
like
if it was like a short or something,
yeah,
right? Isn't
it'd
that
be
surprising? I thought the same
amazing.
thing too. Like I was like, there's you see them on, I'm like, what is besides like when they bring the Easter bunny,
Yeah.
like you get like a glimpse as to like what it would be. But yeah. Um, that is interesting. But like, let us know. Like I said, definitely tell us what you guys what you guys think of Halloween pops, horror pops, whatever it may be. If you're fans, I know horror is kind of a funny thing because it's like some people love it and some people are like totally against horror and stuff. So
Yeah.
let us know. But Halloween kind of can fit more into the cutesy stuff too. They don't. It's not only scary, I guess, if you go with the Halloween. But that's gonna be it. Happy Halloween again. If you guys are out trick or treating, be safe, please. Hopefully everyone has some cool costumes, and we'll see some pictures and stuff online. Feel free to let us know, what you guys are doing for Halloween. I was Sam. My whole family's gonna be Sam. Me, my wife, and my daughter, because she's 3 years old and she loves a little psycho killer out there. It's kind of crazy. It's hilarious. But that's gonna be it for our episode 48. Again, thank you guys so much. And Charlie will close us out. Let you guys know. Make sure you're following us and everything
Yeah, make
on
sure
our
you're
page.
following us over on Instagram at Collector Chatter and obviously our YouTube page. Keep dropping all those comments. We love hearing them. And like Mick said, definitely let us know what horror pops you want to see or just anything Halloween related. Um, and keep liking our videos, really keep subscribing, and once again, hit that notification bell so you know when these new videos come out, because not only this dropping, but we're hopefully really praying that obviously we get these NFTs. We're going to drop these NFT videos, and hopefully we pull some fire redeemables. And once again, everyone, happy Halloween. As you saw, I will be Zurg, and my whole family were people from the new Lightyear movie. So my son is
Yes.
Buzz, my other son is the baby. He will be Socks, who's like the cat, and my wife will be one of the Space Rangers. But yeah, thank you for all your support, and until next week, but happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween.